Carl from All Media Reviews. Well, just to kind of follow up, since the stream went so long and I had to take a phone call, I wanted to share. I made a list of. Looked at all the concerts I did over the last. I went to the last 10 years, concerts, live performances, etc. Shows, and it was like 118 or something like that. So I did a pub meeple. I started eliminating a lot of them. I did a pub meeple ranking and got it down to 54. So I'm gonna go over this as fastly as I can. Yeah, okay. So 50 or 52 or something like that. 52 Soft Machine with Belladone 2018 Turf Club. 51 Local Natives at First Avenue in just this past August 18th. Mickey Dolenz in 2015 at St. Croix Casino in Turtle Lake. The big deal about that show was, the show itself was fine. It was okay. He did some covers like Hendrix and Beatles and stuff like that. But my wife got her Daydream Believer single, the 7-inch 45, signed by him, which completed having all 4 members of the Monkees with it. So that was and we had previously seen him and forgot to bring it. So that was part of it. Got a second chance. Although I remember my windshield was got cracked after that. We drove back from Turtle Lake. Let's see, that was in 2015, September 18th, 2015. Number 49, Periphery and Sicketh at the Varsity Theater in 2016. Number 48, Black Belt Eagle Scout at the Cedar Cultural Center in 2023, in April of 2023. Number 47, Bent Knee, Airlands, Oklahoma. Yeah, I remember my friend Sarah Perbix was actually sitting in with Airlands. That was part of it. But seeing Bent Knee at the 7th Street entry in 2017. Sarah Perbix from Cloud Cult. Let's see here. The Monkees, both Monkees present Mike and Mickey shows. The one in Milwaukee and the one at Minneapolis, which were both good and bad for various reasons. One was the last time we got to see Michael Nesmith play. The other thing is the negative experience we had in Milwaukee after we went to our hotel after we didn't have a room if we booked it 2 months out, and there was some wedding that they overbooked. So we ended up having to go to Waukesha and staying at a Best Western, thankfully. And then we had back-to-back nights. We came back and we told my mother-in-law, yeah, we got to go to another show. It's like, you just got back. But because it was back-to-back nights. The deal was we bought the tickets for Milwaukee not assuming there was a Minneapolis show. And the same thing happened again with Mickey a couple of years later in Madison, where they added a Minneapolis show later, of course. That's 46 and 45. Number 44, Family Crest at the Turf Club in 2023. The first time they were the last band I saw after COVID. Anyway, it was great to see them. Number 43, Thank You Scientist, Kindo, and the Presence of Wolves at Amsterdam Bar. I think that was the first time I saw the Reign of Kindo. That was a really big deal. In 20... no, that wasn't. That was the second time. I don't remember. There was a reason why that was a big show, to see Thank You Scientist and Kindo together. I think that might have been the first time I saw Thank You Scientist, or the second one. Because I saw them at the Varsity Theater, I think, one other time. Anyway. So then, let's see, number 43. Number 42, The Mike and Mickey Show in Illinois. Again, that was, like, memorable for getting caught in traffic. We loved the hotel we were at in Skokie, but we got caught in traffic and we didn't even eat dinner before the show. We went to McDonald's. It was too late, too little, too late. But at least it was Michael Nesmith again. Keep in mind, because my wife waited 26 years to see the guy, and then she got to finally see him. She saw him like 8 times in the span of like 6 years. Let's see. Miracles of Modern Science at the Honey Cafe in Minneapolis. I saw them a couple times. I don't know. I would put that one or the one that was down at Northfield. But anyway, Miracles of Modern Science, I missed that band. That was in 2015. 2020, number 40, Hours at the Amsterdam in 2023. Yeah, I mean, even though I got my head pressure started at that show. But I talked to Jimmy afterwards and stuff like that. It was great. Probably, and maybe the last time I ever see Hours. That's the other thing about it, because we don't know if they're ever going to tour again, like full scale. Let's see, the number 39, Joy for Middle and Everything at First Avenue in 2016. The first time I got to see Everything, I think they pretty much outstaged Joy Formidable, but anyway. And I think it was actually better than the one they headlined, weird as it sounds. I remember asking the guys after, they'd never heard of Yes. It's like, no, we don't know who's Yes. I thought because one of the Everything songs reminds me a lot of 80s Yes. And that was supporting Get to Heaven, actually, that tour. Number 38, Nick Mason's Saucerful Secrets at the State Theater in 2022. Yeah, that was a special, so they did all of Echoes at that, and yeah. Number 37, XTC's Cherry Chambers at the Parkway Theater in 2022 in Minneapolis. They, of course, got to see finally one member of XTC live. Number 36, Tuxedo at the Fine Line. We got VIP tickets for that show. I got to meet Mayor Hawthorne finally in 2017 after my wife had gave me the third degree about meeting him many times before she met me, and when I skipped the show that she saw with Chromeo in 2011. Number 35, Biffy Clyro and Old Brother at Turf Club in 2017. Not the first time I'd seen Biffy Clyro, but the big deal was that was the first time Mike Van Aert was with them when I saw them. So that was a really big deal to meet Mike Van Aert. Number 34, Elvis Costello at Shaughnessy Auditorium in 2014. Last time I've seen Elvis Costello, his shows are always fun. He spins the wheel and stuff like that. Number 33, Robert Fripp and the Orchestra of Crafty Guitarists at this church in St. Louis Park. That was surreal because they were playing this large group in synchronization at this church. So yeah, it was a neat deal. So kind of a unique experience. It was just Robert, and he talked to the crowd a little bit, but it was just weird. Number 32, John Anderson at the Fitzgerald Theater. Yeah, it was a great show back in 2016, was it? Or 2019, rather. April 20th, actually. Show that I went to last minute, actually. I didn't have a ticket to the last minute, but supporting 1,000 Hands, I believe. Number 31, King's X. And last time I saw King's X, I think it was, yeah, over Ford and Meridian Incident in 2016 at the Fine Line. Number 30, Cloud Cult at State Theater in 2016. That was during the Secret Tour, and I think they showed the film, if I remember correctly, at that show. Seen them many times. I mean, I didn't see them for a long time, but I finally saw them in 2008, and I've seen them probably like 8 times since then. Number 29, Josh Rouse at the Dakota in 2018, May of 2018. I mean, I've seen Josh Rouse many times with my wife, and the shows with his really good backing man at the Dakota have been some of the best, and that was one of them. Supporting, what was it, the Love in the New Age or whatever it's called. We gotta see him twice, of course. We've got to get him for the second show, because if you don't sell at the second show, the people in the first show can stay. It's kind of cool. Did Salt and Sea. I always associate that show with the song Salt and Sea. The first track on that record. Number 28, Mew at the Turf Club in 2017. The last time I saw Mew, even though it wasn't with Bo. But number 27, Kindo, Srintip, Rocco of the Snow from Kindo, and Adrian Ballou, Bellue, at the Skyway Theater. I got to really meet Kindo after that show. I remember that. Yeah, number 27. Great show. I remember I met Matt O'Leary at that show. That was in 2019. Number 26, Billy Cobham's Crosswind Project featuring Randy Brecker at the Dakota Jazz Club in 2019. Billy is a legend and is one of my favorite drummers of all time, so just see him at the Dakota was great. I think it's the second time I got to see him, but I wanted to see him for the longest time and never got to. Number 25, The Deer Hunter at the Amsterdam Bar and Hall this past October. Great show, I got on the guest list and everything. It's the same day that Mike Portnoy announced that he rejoined Dream Theater and everything. But got to meet Casey after the show a little bit, and saw my friend Nate the first time since COVID. Number 24, Phil Collins at Target Center. I got to see Phil Collins once. That was in 2018. Sort of a bucket list. I haven't seen all the members of Genesis, but I did get to see him. I saw Peter Gabriel, of course, too, and that's on this list as well. He did Easy Lover, and he did a couple Genesis songs, and of course a lot of his solo stuff. More than a couple. He did like one or two of the old. I think he did Follow You, Follow Me. He didn't do any of the Gabriel period stuff, of course. Daryl Sturmer, and I think it's Nick, his son, was the drummer. Number 23, Godspeed You Black Emperor with Zalurus White in 2016. That was surreal, and they've come here since. For the longest time, Godspeed wouldn't come here. They broke up, and they wouldn't come here, and then they came here. I saw them the one time. I would like to see them again. They had this like slideshows in the background, and it was trippy. Number 22, The Warning at the Fine Line. great energetic show. Finally got to see them live. You know, they lived up to the hope and the interest to see them. They really played the crowd really well. I mean, among the highlights was the Enter Sandman cover, of course. Number 21, the Mavericks this past fall with McKinley James. I didn't see McKinley James that much. We were just in the hallway during most of his set. But the Mavericks were really good. That Afro-Cuban jazz, I did the review of it. And we're going to go see Raul Mala in a couple weeks just because I really love the Mavericks show at the Dakota. That show was at the State Theater, though. Number 20, The Deer Hunter with Sean back in 2015 at the Triple Rock. Great show. That's supporting Act 4, rather. Maybe... You know, their most well-known record at this point, as weird as it sounds. But, great show with Sean in 2015. Number 19, Nick Mason, Saucerville Secrets again. The first time I got to see it was a really big deal to finally see Nick Mason live, see someone from Pink Floyd live, and see them play all that stuff. Even though, obviously, some stuff they didn't do. They haven't done some of my favorite early Floyds. They still weren't doing. They did a lot of it, though. Like, Flame, was it Remember a Day? Remember a Day is one of the tracks I really love. And I think Misplaced Childhood they did. Or Childhood's End, rather. Not Misplaced Childhood's End. Stephen Wilson, number 18, Stephen Wilson at the Varsity Theater. The last time I saw Stephen Wilson live, that's supporting The Hand Cannot Erase. Jordan Rudess, of all people, were at that show. Great show. You know, my friend John and I talked a little bit after the show, and there's a video of it on my channel and on Facebook. Let's see here. Number 17, the Monkees at the Minnesota Zoo in 2014. Even though there's no Davy Jones, that was like the Monkees. Because the 2012 show like meant more to my wife, but I felt like the 2014 show, they were hitting more on all cylinders. And also Christian and Cersei were at the show, and I got to meet Christian the first time. That was when I was wearing my Shame of the Truth shirt, and it really shocked him. Like, wow, you know Kevin Gilbert? Like, yeah. And I know you covered him. But yeah, that was a great show. It was a memory 10 years ago this June at the Minnesota Zoo, the amphitheater outside. Number 16, Ben Sinister at the Turf Club. See Ben Sinister finally at home. I'd seen them in Chicago twice, once at the studio and one at the club, but see them actually here was a really big deal. Neat to see them in my hometown finally after being a fan for almost 10 years. Number 15, that show I just saw with Squid. I did the review last week from, oh man, that was fantastic. Just at the Fine Line, Squid with Water From Your Eyes, back at just February 19th. It was like 2 weeks ago, or whatever it was. Number 14, Yes, with Sid Arthur at Madison, Wisconsin Overture Hall, July of 14. Yeah, the biggest deal to this was the last time I saw Chris Squire with Yes, and we actually met Chris Squire after the show a little bit after hanging out. So Sid Arthur was pretty good too, but actually met a guy from Progressive Ears also at that show who's no longer with us. Prague, what was his name? Prague Geezer or something like that. Steve, he was a great guy. And I was talking about Steely Dan and stuff before the show. Number 13, Jason Richardson and the Reign of Kindo stole us at the Amsterdam Garden Grill in 2017. That was the one that was the big deal because it was the first time seeing them. Remember my friend was with Saints 97, that the radio station was at that because he's a kid. He reviewed Kindo's second album on their website. I remember when it came out. I can't remember his name. Min Lee. Anyway. Number 13. Number 12, Mew / the Dodos at the Triple Rock. I think that was with Bo, I think. In 2015, October 5th. Yeah, I mean, that was surreal. They were doing the songs that Kimbra had sang on, and they did Rose. I mean, that was surreal. It had been almost 10 years since I had seen them. It had been like 8 years. And so I had become a much bigger Mew fan after the previous time I'd seen them and before this show. Leading up to this show. So, let's see, that's number 12. Number 11, Foles, one of the Foles shows on here in 2019 at First Avenue, April of 2019. I remember that show. I was like driving to the show, and there was a spider or something in my door. Like, it crawled down from the top of my rearview mirror. It was creepy. While I was on the freeway going 60 miles an hour. But Foles never put on a bad show. I mean, Giannis goes up to the crowd and starts doing crowd surfing, and he went upstairs, and Foles are fantastic live, and that was just the last time I saw Foles actually at First Avenue. Number 10, Stevie Wonder, March 29th, 2015 at Target Center. Probably the only time I'll ever see Stevie. He played till after almost 1 o'clock in the morning. All of Songs in the Key of Life It was great. It was really monumental. Even went to Revival Restaurant beforehand to have Southern food. It was weird. Number 9, Marillion and John Wesley at the Vic Theater. The last time I saw Marillion, my favorite band, of course. Went to Al's, with Ben Sinister in Chicago. Was great. Went to Al's this time and it wasn't as good. It was okay, but right during the World Series, and I was in the on the L train with all these Cubs fans going to the World Series, of course. And in fact, there was someone, because it was the second show of 2 nights, who was actually going to the World Series, who was at the Marillion show the night before, wearing a Cubs shirt. But yeah, that was kind of surreal that, the World Series happened to have the Cubs be in it, fall on when I go to see Marillion in Chicago, of course. Number 8, King Crimson at the State Theater. That was June of 2017. I remember that was right when I was moving out of my apartment. But yeah, the last time I got to see King Crimson, and maybe the last time ever, unfortunately. But yeah, they did Starless. They did a lot of the early stuff. They were the tour de force. It was a great show. I remember they had, I think, 3 drummers. It was Pat Mastelotto, Gavin Harrison. I think Gavin Harrison was with them, and then one other drummer, I forget. Number 7, Queensryche and Fates Warning. Obviously, mainly for Fates Warning. I mean, I like Queensryche, but at Medina Entertainment Center in March of 2016 of 2019, I did a review of that show on. I was at my parents' place at that point, but yeah, really big deal to see Fates Warning again after 10 years, and it really, I still have I only got to see them headline the one time at Prague Power, but just to see them was just a huge deal, and it was supporting, Theaters of Flight, which has become one of my favorite albums of theirs, of course. Number 5, Mute Math with Paper Route. Not that Paper Route, I like Paper Route, like that one EP, but you got another, Lake Foles, seeing them April 3rd, 2016 at First Avenue. Unbelievable show, playing to the crowd, and it was the last time I think I saw them, actually. So that's why it was also kind of a big deal. A lot of these shows are the last time I saw them, which is weird. Number 4, Coheed and Cambria, Between the Buried and Me and the Deer Hunter. I think I had another show on here I'm not including. I can't remember. Maybe not. Well, this was the Coheed show they did all of. Maybe it was the Coheed show they did all of Good Apollo 1 rather. And having the Deer Hunter on the bill as well was a big deal. Between the Buried and Me as well, and they've become secondary to me, unfortunately, but I still like seeing them at that show. It was seeing a big prog show at First Avenue, which is unusual. Really, since seeing Dream Theater there or King's X, it'd been a long time. So anyway, number 4. Number 3, the last Rush show I got to see, the 7th and final Rush show, May 12th, 2015, at the Xcel Energy Center. I did the same thing I've always done. I got a ticket on the street, going. I can't remember what the set list was exactly. I think that was the Timeline tour where they did songs backwards in chronological order. So, but yeah, I mean, it was the first show I saw from Rush was in '94, so it was almost 11 years to the day. It was 11 years and 1 month after seeing Rush for the first time. I saw them for the 7th time, the last time, back in 2015. Number 2, Peter Gabriel show. I just saw it at Xcel Energy Center also in October 3rd of 2023, this past year. Finally seeing him after not seeing him in 2022 or 2002 when I was in Atlanta seeing Pain of Salvation the same night at Target Center. Finally waiting, whatever it was, 22 years or 21 years. Finally getting to see Peter Gabriel was a big deal. It was a great show, surreal. I mean, the beginning was really stripped down, it was weird, but all the videos and the new stuff. And number 1 has got to be, and she has the vinyl over there. I think I might have the CD. I'm not certain. Michael Nesmith and the First National Band at the Troubadour in Hollywood, California. The experience of going out there wasn't perfect. We didn't eat till almost midnight. It was 11 o'clock. We met some guy who just got off a bus that was just out of prison and all this stuff. And he was trying to get into the show, and he was really kooky. Met Cersei outside at the show, waiting in line and everything. It was at the Troubadour where Kevin Gilbert recorded live at the Troubadour, of course. And many other shows have been done. It's a famous club. And then the other thing that was really unique about it, among other things, Lorenzo Lamas was there. Mickey Dolenz did show up. but it was recorded for a live album, that specific show. And my friend John's voice is on the very first track during Grand Ennui. It was surreal. And you got this the Nesmith family basically there. I mean, Jason. I don't know if Jason was there, but he probably should have been. But yeah, I mean, it was, and they did a lot of songs that my wife really loved and really appreciated. So it was super memorable. I mean, you know, his band was great, and you know, Jonathan and Cersei was one of the background singers, and he had Pete Finney playing pedal steel and everything, and it did tons of those first 3 records, the Red, White, and Blue records, and I mean, they didn't do they didn't play Wax Minute, of course. That would have been the cherry on the sundae, but yeah, it was a massive deal for my wife, and you know, yeah, going to Hollywood was, you know, we had to walk up the stairs at the Airbnb because the elevator was broken at the time, and he was like 5 levels up. That was also kind of a disaster. Amoeba Records was disappointing for her also. We did go there, and I did the what's in my bag thing there, but as a whole, the show itself was great. So there was one other list that I was going to go over that I didn't do, but maybe not. I forgot to mention Only Murders in the Building and Why the Last Man, one of the TV shows, but maybe that's about it, I think. But so that's, what are your favorite concerts of the last 10 years? 5, 10, 50, I don't care. I'd love to see a comment for that. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.